It's October, the merry month of spooks and thrills. That new Halloween movie is coming out that's going to be terrible, Red Dead 2 comes out in a few weeks, and Steam has yet another horror sale. But with the endless amount of first-person flashlight oogie-boogie nonsense, how are you supposed to find anything worthwhile? Well, boy, do I have some games for you tonight. Detention is a historical side-scroller set in 1960s Taiwan and remains one of the most incredible indie games I have ever played. Its mixture of engaging storytelling and genuinely unnerving gameplay made it stick in my mind for weeks after I had finished playing it. I related with almost all of the characters on an intimate level, and I feel like I've gained insight into a part of history I knew only bits and pieces about. This game serves as not only a harrowing look into what it was like to go to school under martial law, but a fun and engaging horror game. All of the game's enemies are faithfully adapted from Taiwanese culture and mythology and relies on puzzles and hiding rather than combat. The practically open-world setting of a high school is perfect for an oppressive atmosphere. While the enemies do wander around, the game never falls into the white day trap of having to stop doing a puzzle every 10 minutes to run from a dickhead with a baseball bat. The enemies are cleverly placed and ever-present. You can explore, but will have to actively put yourself at risk in order to get key items. This prevents them from becoming an annoyance and makes them an inevitability. All of the game's puzzles serve to further unravel the story, and all of them feel like you are actually progressing and accomplishing something. Putting yourself in harm's way to solve a puzzle always feels like it's worth it. There are clear and well-designed ways to appease or otherwise get around each enemy type, and whenever you get killed, it never feels cheap or forced. Every time you die, it's because you made a mistake. This is a beautiful marriage of great gameplay, story, art style, soundtrack, and overall impact, making it even more impressive that this is Red Candle's first game. The developers are currently at work on their second game, Devotion, which is also a historical horror. With any luck, Red Candle might just become a household name, but no matter what they make from here on, Detention is an experience I won't be forgetting anytime soon. I realize I may have blown my load early by talking about one of the best games first, but you gotta get the kids to look up from their phones somehow. Distraint is a comedy horror game about the real estate market. It's short, it's stylish, it's unique, and it'll make you giggle. Get a copy from your local Blockbuster today. There is a moment towards the end of Massakesia that made me feel more physically uncomfortable than anything else in recent memory. It triggered this repulsive feeling deep within my gut that what I was doing was wrong. I actually buried my face in my hands. This is not a light, fun thing to play for a quick thrill. This is lead in your gut, Michelle Honecker-style punishment. The game plays as a mixture between a point-and-click adventure game and a visual novel, following a young man who discovers through visions that he will grow up to be a psychopath. The game plays with a lot of really interesting ideas, and without spoiling anything, if you enjoyed Spec Ops: The Line or either version of the film Funny Games, you should probably check this out. There's a couple of cheesy jump scares that I wish weren't there, and it's pretty rough around the edges, but the presentation is fantastic. The character designs, the music, just the way you move around the game's world, everything about it just makes my hair stand on end. I don't want to ruin anything, but if you are feeling up to it, Massakesia is certainly deserving of your attention.
Hope that I'll be given some
Also, before I move on, I recommended the film Funny Games. It's a genius deconstruction of the horror genre, but it's also probably the most disturbing thing you'll ever see, so don't watch it if you're not into that, I guess. Tormentum Dark Sorrow is a point-and-click adventure game and has possibly the greatest art style I've ever seen. It's gorgeous and dripping with atmosphere, helped in no short way by its incredible soundtrack. Its puzzles are decent and its ending's a bit but from the visuals and atmosphere alone, this game should definitely be on your radar.
Nothing is determined yet. You can change your fate.
Perhaps pushing the boundaries of obscure, given that this game was developed by the most famous video game critic ever, but for whatever reason, The Consuming Shadow hasn't gotten the attention it deserves. It's a procedurally generated Lovecraftian dungeon crawler with heavy emphasis on resource management. The graphics at times can look like a shitty browser game, but the atmosphere is absolutely fantastic. The depressingly dark tone of the writing perfectly complements both the world of the game itself and how often you'll fail. It's also worth noting that once I actually beat the game, I felt completely fulfilled, and I haven't really touched it since. It's definitely not for everybody, but I had a lot of fun. The second half of the game completely falls off the wagon, but for an asking price of $3, Stray Cat Crossing is a short, charming adventure with appealing pixel art and a half-decent soundtrack. Technically, it's horror because of the content, but it's actually a comfortable little point-and-click. The game's only 2 hours long, so without saying much more, check it out. Last second side note, while I was exporting the music to use in this segment, I found that the songs in the Stray Cat Crossing soundtrack have weird messages connected to all of them. The soundtrack is included free with the game, so if you're interested you can look at it there. Also, after recording, I found out that not only is Distraint 2 coming out, but it's coming out next month, so look forward to that. The last game on this list is the perfect combination of every game I've talked about in this video. It has long-lasting impact, comedy, gut-wrenching horror, gorgeous art, engrossing atmosphere, and charm. Lisa, or Lisa the Painful, is a 30-hour-long horror comedy RPG and is one of the greatest games I've ever played. The characters, soundtrack, and writing are all unique and well crafted. The game's story works as not only a window into a fascinating world, but also an in-depth character study of the protagonist, Brad Armstrong. I have no essay, no mountain of text explaining the technicalities, only this. I hope you'll laugh, and I hope you'll cry. It's scary and intelligent, uncomfortable yet completely engrossing. I hope you like this game as much as I do, because Lisa is a game I will never forget.